As a child, I loved to talk. As I got older, I never stopped. I'm Yvonne, the motivator, man. This is Determined Women of Destiny. I'm about to give you the business, the good, the bad, and the beautiful of female entrepreneurship. Welcome, everyone, to Determined Women of Destiny. This is season 4. She's extraordinary, women that are taking the ordinary to the next level. And I have absolutely the next level type of woman with me tonight. She has been featured, and I'm going to read this to you because she has some wonderful stuff that she's done. She's been a featured guest on CNN Live with Soledad O'Brien. She's been featured in the Associated Press, featured in Black Enterprise, appeared on Money Matters, Amazon bestseller, profile in Huffington Post, and she is the president of Generation X Community Association. I present to you none other than Dr. Nicole B. Simpson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, for having me. I feel so excited and privileged to be here. And preferably, we're all determined women of destiny. So
Yes.
It is my joy. Thank you so much for having me on season 4. Yes.
Yes. It's an exciting time for Determined Women of Destiny. And your story is one that is definitely inspirational and motivational and educational. Dr. Simpson, I know that you are a 9/11 survivor. Let's start there. Tell us about your story when it comes to 9/11.
So, Yvonne, we don't have enough time, but I'm gonna start here. Especially because we've literally, this is the 20th year of the tragedy of 9/11, and I did work on the 73rd floor of Two World Trade Center. And on September 11th, it was a beautiful, beautiful day for those that reside in New York or New Jersey. It was primary election day on that day, and then also the first day of school for young people in the state of New Jersey. And if anyone knows me, I was young and 30, young CFP, certified financial planner, working for a large financial institution. And at that time, in that stage of our lives, we in my professional career would work an average of 80 hours a week just to make it in the business. So there was no question about where it is that I was on that day, sitting in my seat. And I actually was in a meeting with my intern and my sales assistant at the time because there were some changes that were going on in my office. And at 8:46 a.m., Tower 1 was hit. And when Tower 1 was hit, the lights flickered off and on in Tower 2, where I was, and the building began to sway. And at first I was like, oh, that doesn't affect us. Like, let's continue on with business. But I thank God for the Holy Spirit. And I tell people, because the Lord is really the one that ushered me out of that building ultimately. And what happened was I walked over to my partner's office. And when I walked over, the Spirit of the Lord told me to go. So I doubled right back and said, listen, we got to get out of here. And my assistant was like, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, listen, you can stay or you can leave. And as we began to walk out, my receptionist was at the front desk. She was just putting her things down. And I said to her clearly, I said, the Lord said, go. She picked up her stuff. And so the 4 of us began to walk out. And the interesting thing, let me pause here for a moment, because here's the beautiful thing. She knew the God in me. So she didn't need her own prophetic word or anything. She saw that someone that she trusted said, God said, let's go. And so it was 4 of us that began to walk down. We were some of the first to leave the building, but we didn't get on the elevator or anything. So as we were walking down the elevators, as we were walking down the stairs, they were making an announcement on the PA system. Tower 2 is secure. Tower 2 is secure. You don't have to evacuate the building. Tower 2 is secure. And so I found comfort in that, because I'm believing what it is that they're saying. At the same time, information was filtering throughout the stairway that a plane had hit the World Trade Center, but we thought it was an accident just based off of where it is that we were. So we thought it was a CNN or MSNBC plane, and that was fine. And so I get to the 44th floor, which is the common walkway area. And I had made the decision to go back upstairs because, of course, they said Tower 2 is secure. Now, God told me to go, but I was going back upstairs. But the graciousness of God, I got on the elevator and the Spirit of the Lord told me to stay. So I got off the elevator before it closed. The doors closed from the elevator. And not even 30 seconds later, Tower 2 was hit. The elevator came crashing down. And when the elevator came crashing down, the plane had gone right through the 73rd floor. But when that elevator came crashing down, fire began to explode out of the elevator doors. But the one that I was standing in front of did not open. It did not open. And so there were people alongside of me that was literally being burnt alive, but God spared my life in that moment. And I sat there and I was on my knees praying, and the Lord told me to go. And ultimately, he literally ushered me up and out of the building. That's kind of the abbreviated version because, there were some areas in which, he told me not to look back at what was going on, but he guided me. And I think that that's the most important thing that is critically important. And there's an experience that I had that day, even though I was watching, this airplane, when I ultimately had an opportunity to turn around, this airplane hanging out of the building that I had come out of, I just am mindful of the fact that God kept me. And he even had me walk away far enough from the buildings that when they came crashing down and threw us into pitch black darkness, I didn't get crushed by the bricks and the stone, but the debris engulfed us all, that no matter what color you had on, everyone was cloaked in gray. But if you ask me, what is it that changed the course of my life or the trajectory of my life? It wouldn't be any of that at that moment. What transpired is that I walked over to Battery Park City, which is a wealthy community in the state of New York, because that's where my business partner lived at the time. I was trying to get in contact with my family and let them know that I was all right. And then there were security personnel that began to evacuate the residents of Battery Park City. And they had given them an option to go either to Staten Island or to New Jersey. And I didn't look like them. The people that they were trying to protect, I didn't look like them. And I thought about it, I was like, with all of the industry experience that I had, one of the things that I saw was that the wealthy had a plan in place before anyone could even think about something of that magnitude happening, the calamity, the devastation. We were we're ill-equipped in where it is that we were standing, that changed the course of my life forever. Right. And I was home, not at, early in the afternoon around 4:00. And then, it changed how it is that I engage not only my own life, but what it is that I believe God had called for me to do.
Now, you speak about your faith. And you are a woman of faith, but you're also a pastor. So were you a pastor at the time of 9/11, or did that come after?
It came after, and I recently became a pastor because we're literally in the midst of 6 years of the pastorate. I acknowledged the call on my life in 2002, which honestly I thought was very inconveniencing God, but he didn't pay me any attention in that regard. But my life, I think, took a turn in 2002. I was a woman of faith before that. So I do tell everybody, I had a relationship with God beforehand. Because, sometimes when you have all of these catastrophic events in your life, then we have this come to Jesus moment. And I believe I already knew him beforehand. And I think that that's important because after 9/11, with all of the trauma that I endured thereafter, had I not known him, it would have been far more egregious than it was. And so it really helped me, to be who it is that I ultimately am today.
Now, you also talked about finances. And by trade, Tell us about your financial background.
So it's funny, Yvonne. I tell people I know two things in this world. I know Jesus and I know money.
Money.
Those are the two things. That's not too bad of a thing to know.
Right.
I am a financial planner by vocation, actually a certified financial planner. I came into the securities industries at a young age, and I've been doing this for 30 years. And so all of the experience and the expertise that I have been, licensed Series 763, 65, life and health. And then I ultimately became a CFP practitioner, to which I've been one for 20 years. There are not a lot of individuals that look like me that are in this business. It's a predominantly white male industry. And I had to find my footing and my place in this world. And so that experience of 9/11 that I talked about helped me to focus my aim on teaching individuals that after catastrophe happens, after you've endured some level of trauma in your life, how do you begin to pick up the pieces spiritually, emotionally, and economically? Because we go through life. Life is going to happen. There are going to be situations where you may have job loss, you may have a health issue, someone in close proximity to you may die unexpectedly. And so all of those are traumatic experiences, right? But after you've gone through the traumatic experience itself, the next thing that happens for all of us, culture set aside, is how can I navigate through this economically? And we find that our pocketbooks or our financial resources dictate our options. And so it is, and it's a devastating place to be if you're limited in your resources overall. So how do I prepare to buffer the inevitables of life that are going to happen? So life is going to happen. You're going to have some unexpected grievances that come across your desk. How do you manage them? Because if I'm devastated like I was after 9/11, if I'm devastated emotionally, can I handle the emotional devastation and economic devastation at the same time? You know, we're culturally, health from a health perspective, there's a disparate level of care in our communities.
Yes.
And so we may be more susceptible to high blood pressure, diabetes, we might be susceptible to cancer and things of that nature. Those are traumatic experiences for our family, primary care physicians included in on that aspect. But if your finances or lack thereof dictate how you can manage that issue, that's problematic. And so I believe that the Lord has had me to effectively talk about not only our faith, but also to ensure for the totality of you to be amazing in whatever area that God has planted you in. Then you need to make sure that you have some grasp on your finances as well.
Absolutely. When we come back from break, I want you to talk a little bit more about how we can, as business women or women as general, look at putting our finances together where we can be in a financial situation where every time something happens, we're not calling Big Mama for an extra $100, or people have to come together and do a GoFundMe just to bury us. So we'll be right back after break. For the last year and a half, COVID has had us bored in the house and in the house bored. If you're like me, I've been walking around saying I need to put some paint here, maybe I should change the curtains, let me move the furniture around, and a picture would look good in the living room. And sometimes I even sat down in the middle of the floor and said, I don't even know what to do in here. We're in our homes more than ever before. Why not make them a space of beauty, of health, of wellness, and of peace? Stay tuned for this next segment. Courtney Grace from CG Candles will take you on a journey for the next couple of weeks of how she took her humdrum bedroom and turned it into a fabulous living space. If you need some ideas or you'd like to purchase some of her products, She's going to give you information how to contact her. Hope you enjoy this segment and use her tips to make your living space a beautiful oasis of peace and happiness.
Hi everyone. So before we get started, I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Courtney Grace and I am the CEO of CG Candle Collection. CG Candle Collection is an all-natural soy wax aromatherapy candle line, also offering intentional home decor and a variety of self-care products geared to helping you feel centered and grounded in your physical space. So today's segment is about creating and demanding a foundation for your success and greatness. And this all starts with building your living aesthetic. And what this looked like for me was a space where I had my candles, where I had my crystals, my home decor, my plants, feng shui centered pieces that really helped me tap into myself. Throughout this act of self-care, positivity began to pour into my business, my relationships, and overall the quality of my life began to improve.
So here we have my lovely, lovely boyfriend helping me break down my old bed. So basically the start to any room makeover is to break down the old and get rid of it. And that means just ridding of anything that doesn't serve you anymore, that is old and needs to get rid of. So I decided to get rid of this dresser drawer. All the garbage around it had to go. We also had a leak in the roof and created this hole. So now we patched that up and fixed that completely. We also, oh my gosh, had to get rid of this dresser drawer. Very, very messy. It is gone, now cleaned up, and we are good to go. So here is step one of breaking down, letting go. We have officially gotten rid of all things that don't serve us in this room, the dresser drawer, the bed, and now we're left with my cluttered desk and my very cluttered living room set. However, now what I'm going to focus on is just getting rid of all the small items, all the little novelty clothes, memorial items that need to go. And once we do that, we are going to repaint the room. We are going to change out the carpeting and add new furniture. And I can't wait for you guys to see that, because that's when the room will really transform into something super, super ordinary, and we will make it extremely extraordinary. The colors will pop, the furniture will match the feng shui, will match the chicness of the room, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the final design. We are going to add, of course, some home decor, and I'm excited.
I can't wait to share the process on how I do this room makeover and this whole transition and transformation. If you've ever done a room makeover or, changed your space into a high vibrational living space, comment, let me know, please share, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Check in with us.
Welcome back to Determined Women of Destiny. My guest is Dr. Nicole Simpson. We have been discussing her journey through 9/11. She's a 9/11 survivor, and also her background when it comes to finances and economic wealth. She was talking to us about how our health and our wealth go together hand in hand. And I want you, Dr. Simpson, to go back to that, because a lot of people don't realize that the health disparities that women of color face are related directly to the finances that you do or you don't have.
Right.
So something as simple as, you're sitting 3 hours in a clinic opposed to going to a private doctor, and the private doctor has cronies that are his friends. And if something happens to you, hey, I'm going to refer you to my friend that I know is a specialist in this field, opposed to going to the clinic and the clinic saying, well, these are the doctors that you can go to because this is your insurance level.
Right. And you touched on 2 points that I think are critical overall when it comes to understanding health and wealth. The first one is the absence of time, right? So if I'm in a doctor for 3 hours, I can't be at work. If I can't be at work, I can't earn income. If I work per hour, then I'm less inclined to go to the doctor. So then my health is going to deteriorate all the more. So something that might have been simplistic in terms of, health and wellness has now been exacerbated because I can't afford to be away for 3 hours. So the vicious cycle in the economic aspect of it in terms of earnings is the first challenge. The second challenge is also that we buck against, quality care. And so that it goes across socioeconomic spectrums. It is almost as if when African American women indicate that they have something that's problematic, we're not treated with the same level of care and concern or seriousness as people that are other cultured and gendered. And this is unfortunate because we have to fight against, what is transpiring. We can look at, all of the statistics for breast cancer. We can look at diabetes, high blood pressure. We can look at COVID-19, which affected women, but disproportionately minority women, Black and brown bodies. And so when you can't work, you can't you can't provide for your family. When you're unhealthy, you can't work. And so it's a vicious cycle that goes round and round that needs to be addressed overall. Now, how do we overcome that?
Yes.
And that is a challenge, to say in the least. But I think that when we began to take our care, our quality care more seriously, and are concerned about healthcare and wellness, where we're doing the hard work of things that can preventative care, and then we'll find ourselves capable of focusing on our finances. And that is probably the best way to offset it. Because while I don't deal with the the health aspect, the acknowledgement that is there is something that we have to address, because I do know that it affects us from a wealth perspective, and not just the person that is injured or ill. It affects the entire family. If you have a member in your family that is subjected to having to go to cancer treatments or dialysis, you need someone to take you, you need someone to pick you up, you may need someone to take care of the kids, you might be the member that is a part of a sandwich generation, so you have your elderly parents you've got to take care of, and your younger children, and then you can find yourself, disenchanted and unable to work to your fullest potential to earn what is necessary for you to become financially free.
Absolutely the truth. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody was listening to that piece, because it is so important. If there was one thing that you could tell women in business as far as getting their wealth up, what would be one thing that could start them on that journey?
So I have this saying that if money weren't an issue, what would you be doing with your life? So women that are in business, I already want to commend you, for taking the first step. I think it's very important for you to understand what being a business owner means, the tax incentives that are associated with it, because it can really increase your overall financial wellness, your overall financial stability, in understanding that the tax system for the United States of America is designed for small business owners. And so if there are expenditures that are associated with you where they're reasonable and customary in your ordinary course of business, that's advantageous. So like Yvonne, I'm here with you tonight just to give everyone an example. The fact that I'm on with you tonight, whatever it costs me to dress myself because I'm presenting myself on television, or even on social media outlets, to get my hair done, to get my nails done, my personal grooming, because I am a personality overall, it becomes a portion of my reasonable and ordinary course of business for what it is that I do. So whatever the cost amount is to have gotten my hair done is an expense that I get to write off at the end of the day. The laptop that I'm on, or the television station that you're in, or even the space in which both of us us find ourselves in the moment is a reasonable and ordinary course or expenditure in our ordinary course of business. And even though we've taken the first step to become women business owners, we don't oftentimes utilize to the fullest degree of what that really means. So if it's anything that's associated with you doing your business, it's an expense to your business. Make sure that you're properly allocating that accordingly, ladies that are out there, so that you can ensure that your overall financial picture is much stronger than it could have ever been. That is how the wealthy get wealthier. And that's the tools that we need to apply to our lives.
You see, I had to clutch my pearls that on here when you said that my hair, my nails, if I had, professional makeup done for this, that can be written off. If I bought a new shirt or these earrings, that's written off because I'm a personality and I have to look a certain way to go before the public. Oh my goodness.
Now that's because that's your nature of business. Now understand this. If you are someone that, is a oil painter, you're not in the public's eye. But everything that you purchase in association with doing your oil paintings, the lighting, the whatever is necessary, supplies and all of those things, it has to be reasonable and ordinary in your ordinary course of business, or reasonable and customary in your ordinary course of business. So whatever your business takes, it must be in alignment with that. And so we have different types of businesses. You and I, Yvonne, we're different because we are a part of the public's eye. So when we present everything that may be on our physical nature is critical. But if someone is a behind the scenes computer person, then they may not have the physical or personal persona that has to be in alignment with their business. So that's why it's critical for you to understand the nature of your business and what is considered standard for your business.
Okay, so all these glasses that I wear, I can write them.
All of these glasses that we wear.
Different,
different outfits. Yes, we can write them all.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Simpson.
Yvonne, I found something out tonight.
Oh, I can't wait to do my tax.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this is how we become more financially free, right? So, because here, let me just give your audience one more tidbit that really makes sense, right? When you're doing that, we as entrepreneurs oftentimes still have a 9-to-5. So even if I show a loss in my business, I might be earning something. I may not have a profit. I might have earnings, but I might not have a profit. I want y'all to hear the difference between the two. Somebody paid me to do my business, but my expenses are so high that I don't have a profit yet, but I work a 9-to-5. Any losses that I have can still be offset by my 9-to-5 income, which means now my tax liability is going down, but I've paid taxes based off of at minimum my 9-to-5 income. Yvonne, we'll be on to something if we really understood the benefits of overhaul, comprehensive planning, and how we can be financially fit and how we can ensure that, here's my Jesus and money conversation. God gave me a talent, at least a gift. We all have at least one, right? And so I've monetized that gift. And if you can monetize that gift, it now becomes a business that can help you be financially free. Dr. Benjamin Mays, and I'll leave on on this note, and I'm paraphrasing, I always butcher what it is that he says, but he says, every man and woman is born into the world to do something unique and something distinctive. And if he or she does not do it, it will not get done. So there's something in all of us that we have the ability to create business in. And if we were to do that, and we know that it's the thing that God created us to do, then we can find our financial freedom in that, even if we have to work a 9-to-5 job to provide for our families. Wow. I know these days, Yvonne. I know Jesus. and I know money.
Tell us how we can contact you, Dr. Simpson. Tell us.
Oh, anybody can find me. My name is very simple. It's NicoleBSimpson.com. I'm on all social media outlets under that umbrella. NicoleBSimpson.com is the best way to get hold of me. And I do this all day, Yvonne. I think it's very important for us to have a credible place where we can go and know that God is with us in the journeys that we go throughout in life, and that He desires us to be financially free. But there takes prudence and application of principles that will get us there. And so as long as He gives me breath, I'm going to be able to tell everybody what it is I know about the two things that He has gifted me in, and that's Him and money.
Where's your church located, Dr. Simpson?
Micah 7 Ministries, we're about to celebrate our 6-year anniversary, and we are located in Piscataway, New Jersey. So it's micah7ministries.org. Anyone can go onto the website to be able to get the specific address. It's Micah, the minor prophet in the Bible, micah7ministries.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Simpson. You dropped some jewels, not only about finances, about the Lord, and I thank you for that. And I end every show with this one saying, and you tapped into it already: keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done. Dr. Simpson, once again, thank you for being on Determined Women of Destiny. And all of you, peace and blessings until we meet again.
Marguerite Bynum here, CEO of Supreme Manage. We are your strategic marketing and small business consulting firm. As a small business consulting firm, we provide owners with resources, advice, and planning designed to improve your organization's performance and efficiency. We assist businesses by identifying problems, implementing solutions, and reaching your goals. If that sounds like something you need, feel free to contact us at Supreme Manage on Instagram, and we will get back to you right away.